Good evening and welcome to City Pulse. Multifocal motor neuropathy, or MMN, is a rare autoimmune condition that causes progressive muscle weakness. Gibraltar's only known patient, John Navarro, has made it his mission to put it and other little-known illnesses on the map. He's building a network locally and internationally and joins us in part 2 to give us a glimpse of life with the disease. Before then, plenty of topical bits and bobs to get through. Hello, contributors, and to our debutant tonight.
Ooh, la niña de la lotería.
¿Cómo estamos? How are you?
Good. No prizes tonight, eh?
I've been wanting to ask you all, can you just say minor prize, please?
Minor prize. Para, Acaba de llegar.
Guys, we survived Storm Kristin, we survived Storm Leonardo, and we survived Storm Marta. We did it. Yes, we did it, and we're here to tell the story.
We did. You know, I came in a little bit wet now into the studio.
Storm Marta, it wasn't quite as heavy here in Jib anyway.
No, it was. I don't think it was. The big one was Leonardo. That was the one that was like wind, Novea. But I think there's more coming in, no? Like they're just giving them these names as well.
But how do they know when one finishes and the other one starts?
Yeah, it's true.
Porque hay un poquito de sol.
Eso que lo que.
Para un poco.
Sol y sombra, ¿no?
That's the rule. If someone can just spot even a second of blue sky, right, Leonardo's done.
Yeah. It's been continuous though. Like I'm all for a bit of rain, but you know, I'm a summer girly. Yeah. I need the sun.
Yeah.
Nosotros los llanitos, we need el sol.
Yeah.
I'm
unpopular opinion. I love the rain, but even me, who loves being indoors on a rainy day, it's been a lot.
It's been like lockdown. I felt I was in lockdown last week because for me, my biggest enemy is the winds. Because I can't move with the wind because it literally throws me around. Y no podía salir mi casa. It's like being in lockdown. I was doing stuff que I remember doing it during the lockdown. Macro photography, esto, lo otro, tonterías. Just
puzzles.
Yeah, tonterías, sí.
See, no, it did feel that. Like completely COVID kind of climatic lockdown, no?
It feels like we're still not completely out of it, though. Like just on the way this way, it was raining.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but I think we're just about good. No, like the Apple Weather app is not exactly gospel.
Hace falta mucho Jib.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Well, controversial actually. Yeah, that's.
See?
Yeah, we might have to put that to a poll.
Oh wow.
We might have to put that to a poll.
I metí la pata.
Yeah. It only took her 2 minutes. We've had a question in from Maureen. It has nothing to do with the weather, but it's an interesting one. Maureen's asking what the panel's opinion is on the use of mobile phones in schools. It's something that we've covered in recent weeks, the use of mobile phones in schools and other public places, which occasionally cause annoyance to other people. Should the schools and parents be more strict?
I don't think that students should be using mobiles during school hours. Lo que pasa es que...
And they do, as I understand it.
Bueno, I don't know. Lo que pasa es que there is a legislation, there's a rule in school that you can't use mobiles anyway. And now they come up with these pouches and all that stuff. No, I don't know how it's going. But I don't think the students should be, not even in break time, and give everybody a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
And then do whatever you need to do afterwards, no?
Yeah.
Yo no soy alguien... Honestly, I don't think... I don't go the other way saying, no, children should not have mobile phones, they shouldn't go into technology. But
it would be hypocritical because adults are also kind of addicted, no?
Exactly. I don't think... personally, I am not that kind of a person, no? My grandchildren, they're all on mobiles, but whenever I say it really bothers me, aunque I think I've said it before in a program I was with, cuando vino Selwyn Figueras aquí, is like, they come home for lunch, no mobiles. No mobiles. In fact, one of them today, he was going to the toilet and he gave me his mobile because he knows mobiles, no? Pero yo no soy alguien que dice, no, son las 6 de la tarde, tú no puedes tener móvil. No. Look, the government is going to build, they're going to build an AI multi-billion pound
data center
in Gibraltar. And if our youngsters are not with it, entonces, ¿para quién va a ser ese data center? For employees that come from abroad, we need to employ our own people as well. And we all know that you learn de chiquitito, ¿no? Creo yo, ¿no?
I hate how, and addicted's a strong word, but I hate how addicted I am to my phone.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It is.
I feel like a hypocrite when we have these kind of chats about hay que ver los niños.
I think we all are.
And then
We
we
all
are, and then we're the same. We're like, I've got my phone with me all the time. But then you know how addictive it is. And also, now that we know so much about mobile technology and mobiles as well, maybe even 5 years ago we didn't know, we are right to control or to at least, measure how much time younger kids are spending on their mobiles. Right? I think that it is really addictive, so I think it's not about them not having a mobile, but maybe there should be a thing from parents to say, is 10 years old okay to have a mobile? I don't know, because that technology is so addictive. Okay, it's not really fair on that child as well.
I don't think it's the technology. I think it's the algorithm. I think it's the algorithm because it shows you what you want to see because it's learning all the time. So if you're scrolling, it knows what you want to see. Okay, I think that is the addictive side of it. It's not the algorithm.
Sorry.
No, see it.
I think that there definitely is a place for technology in education. I'm a teacher myself, so I definitely see the benefits of having technology in education, but also being addicted to my phone. I also really appreciate the days when I was young and I didn't have this unlimited access to the internet and to phones. So more on a personal community nostalgic level, I really think that it's nice for kids to have that detox whilst they're in education and focus on building those social connections and friendships that you build in school.
So are you a teacher? Middle school, comprehensive?
I'm a special needs teacher.
Right, okay.
So I work in St. Martin's.
Right, okay. So I just wonder if in mainstream education, when it comes to the playground, are kids still playing? I remember Scoop de toda la vida. Football, basketball, just outdoor activities. No tanto, no.
Bueno, in the comprehensives, no, but in St. Joseph's and stuff, yo me acuerdo con los skipping.
But I just have this sort of picture of just, this in the playground.
I don't think they're allowed, no? Mobiles on the playground.
I hope not.
I don't think they're allowed.
Well, anyway, back to the weather, and I just wanted to touch upon what we should probably be calling the great umbrella shortage of 2026. Here we look at this.
Wow.
Roto.
Roto.
Broken.
So if you don't discriminate and wouldn't mind a broken umbrella, well, they're probably
which brands are good or not.
The flag, say that.
Lost the flag as well.
Lost the flag.
Get heavy, no?
Muy fuerte.
So yeah, well, they seem to be having a good time.
Yeah. No, but the wind has been unreal.
I think they're saying the leaves, no? That the leaves have fallen, maybe. I can't really see that.
I don't think, I'm no geologist here. I don't think it had anything to do with the recent bad weather, but there were, in the area, El Campo de Gibraltar, there were tremors last night. Did you guys feel anything?
No, I didn't.
But it is scary.
Kathy probably thought it was me snoring, pero probably, yeah.
Tremors every night.
Pero no, I personally no.
Cameraman Mark is somewhere, and there's cameraman Mark. He said he felt it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He said he felt it, yeah.
What time was this?
Well, maybe I lost track of time, but maybe 10
Mark.
Por ahí, 10 p.m.
Or 7 p.m.
When apparently they've been doing it, it's been leading up for a few days. So it's like Grazalema, Cádiz, some just off the straight. You just try not to pay too much attention because you're like, another thing? I know. You watch the news these days, but now you just want to switch things off, and now you're like, all we need now is an earthquake. Because now the headline said it could be related to the rainfall or Grazalema because the ground below Grazalema is moving, etc. But this has nothing to do with that, apparently. So we're like, really? Okay. So yeah. Brace.
Well, it seems like Jaylene says that we might just about be out the woods just in time for the Jibsam's Listener Selection Day. That's just around the corner.
That happens on the 11th of this month. There's a listener selection evening. Now, Jibsam's listeners are like the core of Jibsam's, right? Without them, you would not have a Jibsam's. They provide the service to anyone who needs it, to call them. And what Jibsam's needs now are listener volunteers. Now, it's quite a high stakes volunteership. You know? So you think of giving your time or volunteering for different causes, you can be as involved for different things. You know, you could be a bit involved or give it all. And I think when it comes to Jib Sam's Listener, it makes such an impact to the people who need it, but it also, you know, gives a lot as well. You learn if you become a listener, they train you, you're there on this type of the phone, and there's a commitment, I think, of one shift every week or every 2 weeks. So we really, really, really need people to get involved and
so what is it that Jib Sams look for in a listener? Because listening, I mean, it's kind of underestimated, no? Like, not everyone is a good listener.
Agree. Agree. I did the funny, and just to lighten it all, I did the.
Sorry, what were you saying?
You're a good listener. You are a good listener. I've picked this up.
I consider myself a good listener.
But I did the listener training, right? So I did this whole thing when I joined the charity. I'm not a listener at Jib Sam's, but I did it because I wanted to learn the process. The training that they deliver is excellent. You don't need any base skills, but you do need a level to want to help people, a base level of empathy. And they teach you how to actively listen, to actually listen to what people are saying, also allow space if someone is trying to open up about a certain issue, is they give you that skill there. And the best thing I took from that as well, to keep it really light, was that I was a good listener. And there's a listening wheel. So I went back to my husband, I was like, I am a good listener. I have proof. I have proof. I've done a course. I
have a certificate.
So from that, you don't necessarily need it, but they'll teach you how to be a good listener. So,
right, okay. So anybody watching that might think that, you know, this could be for them, what should they do?
Go to jibsams.gi or email volunteer@jibsams.gi. We really need people to get involved. So if you think you have that time and can really help someone on the phone, please get in touch.
Good stuff. Okay,
thank you.
Earlier today, the main stand at the Victoria Stadium de Toda la Vida, destruction of it began today. So everyone has a childhood memory of the Victoria Stadium. Get in touch with yours. Time now to fly the nest. In recent weeks, we've been to Australia, Singapore, Qatar, nowhere near as cold as this one.
My name is Francesco. I've lived here in Reykjavik for now, I think, 4 years, nearly coming up 4 years. And yeah, it's been an interesting journey thus far, moving away from Jib. And I do miss quite a lot of things. I think it's pretty normal for a lot of people to miss things when they move away from their hometown. Well, initially, it was my then girlfriend at the time. So the ultimate reason to move over to go to Iceland was, I guess, for love, you know. And then you realize, you know, after a period of time, I stayed here for so long that it just started to integrate myself into the society a little bit more, and it made it difficult to move back. So I ended up loving being here, really. This is mainly city tours. But right now I'm training to get an extended license, which allows me to take passengers commercially in buses, which is mainly what a lot of guiding jobs do. You work with transportation, and then once you're able to get this extended license to take passengers, you know, commercially, you can then take them on the glacier, and you can take them on various other experiences and sort of like combined tours in a sense. Which makes it a really dynamic working environment. Yeah, I'd say the first thing that shocked me the most when moving here to Iceland was definitely the lack of daylight. I think the cold you get used to pretty quickly, but during the winter period, the 4 hours of sunlight can be really brutal, and we're just coming off it now. You know, you could see that it's light, but it's not really as light as it should be, you know. So that's the hardest thing, in my opinion. In Iceland, you've got roughly around from November period to pretty much now, beginning of February, you've got the worst part of it is usually around 4 hours. So the sun probably won't rise until like 12, and it'll set at like 3:30, maybe 4 o'clock. I wish I had people from Jib coming over, and yeah, I would definitely be invested in taking people from Jib over and showing them, you know, what Iceland has to offer, really. But no, I think it's very rare. At least for me, I haven't heard anyone from Jib come over to visit. I think not last summer, but the summer season before that, I think it was 2024, I was working as a kayak guide in like a glacier lagoon.
Nice.
Which is really, really cool. You learn a whole set of skills, and you learn how to be on a boat and take tourists, you know, on a kayak next to you. And it's a really involved experience and quite personal, actually. And it's really cool because you're kayaking in between, well, close to glaciers, not close to icebergs, not too close because of safety reasons. But the amazing thing about that is that there are seals, because it's a glacial lagoon that's connected to the ocean by a very thin strip. So there are seals that come in and out. And some of these seals are really curious, and I've had quite a few experiences of these seals like following you around, and it's quite fun. Yeah. Leaving family aside, if I could teleport to Jib, it's a very good question. I think I would be either on med steps, because I used to love going up med steps. It was always a fun trip. Or I'd probably be maybe in like Sandy Bay, just having a good time on the beach, just really enjoying myself, soaking in the sun. Yeah, I just want to say thanks to everyone. Thank you so much to everyone for honestly it's been very difficult, obviously, the move from me going over, especially so far away. So I guess ultimately thanks to my family for really being there in times where I've needed them to be. And that's really the most important thing. That's when you realize, I guess, family is there forever, you know, as well. And they are there forever. So, and I love them so much, and I can't wait to see them again.
Big thanks to Frank Scalici, all the way from Reykjavik in Iceland, who's a tour guide. So if you are planning on heading north on holiday, then he's your man. And if you know someone, a friend or a relative who lives and works away from Gibraltar, and you think they might have a bit of a story to tell, then get in touch, citypulse@gbc.gi. Help us hunt them down. Okay, so the Victoria Stadium, we mentioned it a second ago. The destruction of the main stand, it started today. Okay, every time I say it, my voice wobbles. Because it's like such a nostalgic thing. Childhood memories. Go.
I've spent so many hours.
You've got a really good one about the track.
Yeah, I inaugurated that track.
Wow.
Wow.
Many years ago, because I can't remember where it was. I had just come back or just about to do the London Marathon on my chair. And somebody called me, and I did a lap, and obviously runners as well. Yeah, it was something special for me.
That would have been what, early 90s, but
See, mid-90s, yeah.
Bueno.
You were super sporty de chica, no?
Yeah, I was. I was very. I was quite sporty when I was young. I used to live for sports day. Me acuerdo de mi padre que me daba los dextrose tablets para correr. Me compraba los running shoes. I just remember like sports day being like hugely impactful. Y me va a matar mi tía, no mi tía Sharon la que corre, la otra Alison, pero siempre me voy a acordar that my cousin was in Bishop and they had the mother and father's race, no, something like that. And when she was running she was the fourth runner on like a relay, metía en el pavé y se cayó. Se quedó.
Pobre.
Se quedó.
And we've got footage of that now.
Sorry, auntie, pero
bueno, no,
sorry,
no,
auntie, pero it's like core memory.
Core
you
memory
know?
of
Like
life.
it's
For
surely
her
a core
too,
memory
probably.
for her.
She's probably really happy that now the stadium's no longer there.
Everyone that was
Pobre.
sat in that supposed to be
Alice, I'm with you because that would happen to me. That would be like.
Me va a matar.
Any sports growing up? Were you big on anything?
No, not really, not sports. Like, I think quite stereotypically. No, not really with sports. And actually, when you said you were going to be talking about this today, my memory of probably the stadium would be something like the GMF.
GMF.
For me, you know, that, and also the stands themselves, that side, you know, with Victoria Stadium, the view of the Rock in the back, and big events.
See it.
I hope they keep those letters, the Victoria Stadium and the badge. I hope they keep it because it will be an absolute.
I played football de toda la vida, but my best memory of the Victoria Stadium was sneaking in with my two older sisters to the Elton John concert. Now, about 25 years later, I can admit it, live on television.
I was there.
Were you there?
I saw it. I was there. Yeah.
They opened up the ambulance bay because there was an emergency, and as they opened
you
it
went
up,
in?
my sister grabbed me, like, shoom,
No me digas.
¿Y tú quién es?
straight in. Y yo, okay.
Elton
Bit of
John,
Rocket Man,
Elton
why
John,
not?
guys. See?
Sí.
Santana as well.
Santana, my mum for sure must have gone, pero Elton John no sabía yo.
GMF. I've played in the GMF as well with the band. Yeah.
So you've had some big names down the years.
Yeah. Unos Pisarello, Robotum. Yeah.
But Elton John, yeah, he came to, and he apparently he flew in,
flew
did
out.
his, and flew out.
Flew out, yeah. Everybody was still there. Otra.
He's talking about me, boy.
He had a jet go.
Y el pobre, Dios.
Otra.
In,
It's
out.
iconic, no? That it's gonna be so strange to not see that structure there after so many years.
Yeah.
It's part of the fabric of life and stuff. So
And what's replacing it is kind of controversial as well, but maybe that's for another day.
for another day.
We'll leave that for another day.
Maybe.
No?
Yeah.
What is iconic is this treaty. That is iconic. In a sense, it's also very confusing. David, please explain.
No.
This is off the back of Thursday's Viewpoint special, which
Yes.
was kind of a focus on local business.
Yeah, so look, two things. I agree that the treaty is a before and after iconic moment, but I also agree that there are many people who are confused. Right? I'm confused, lots of businesses are confused. So Thursday's Viewpoint was a special on business. So they had, it was chaired by Rose, Shalina. They had lots of people from the business community, many who are working at businesses in Main Street, who import and export goods. And I think that's where the discussion centered around. And I think that's where a lot of people are confused. So I was in the room, I myself was confused. I didn't contribute with a question, but actually just listening to everyone and the different concerns that they have on the treaty implementation, that A, is really, really good that we have a date, 10th of April, that we are working towards a potential date for this all to come.
10th of April for now.
For now, right? That's another bit as well. But we're about 60 days away from this new reality. But what's coming across is a lot of people don't have a clue as to the operational stuff that's going to happen. So what the government is doing, very rightly, is giving technical notices. They're putting things on press releases. But it's still, there is a gap there for a very clear kind of instructions on practicalities. And by that I mean, we know there's going to be a transaction tax of 15% when it comes into operation, going up to 17.
Over 3 years, no?
Over 3 years. Yes, so it starts 15, 16, and then up to 17. But there's no guidelines on how actually that's going to work. Do people then need to register? Where do they need to register? And I appreciate that it's still being worked out, but it is not helping with how people feel the uncertainty. Now, that again, with the context that when we were a year ago, we didn't know if we were going to get a treaty. So I guess this is part of the process, but there doesn't seem to be a government central source of information. But the GFSB does have an AI Brexit Q&A, which is learning from everything that the government has shared about the treaty that we know. And that's news reports, GBC, Chronicle, and official channels from the government. And actually, I was using it today, and it's really, really useful. So I put a question in that I don't understand myself, which was, as simple as if I run a business in Jib and I import goods from UK directly to Jib, how does that affect me? Don't ask me to tell me what it told me, but it gives you a detailed information, including all the sources. And it's there for everyone, so you don't have to just be a business to use it. If you, as a person in our community, are concerned about certain things, you might want to go there. So, for example, if you go to...
AI as a force for good.
Yes, there is. This is something that's
No?
positive. Sí, no, la verdad que sí. Pero things like, for example, if you do your Mercadona shopping now and you claim the VAT, you won't be able to do that once the treaty comes in. So that's like a bit of a no-brainer, but some people might not understand that. So check out gfsb.gi. I feel as if I'm just promoting websites today. But there is an information there. But so people are feeling positive, but there's a lot of uncertainty. But
Jaylina, where's your head at regarding like it? I mean, I know that's a big question, but like, please tell me you understand as little of this as me.
I don't understand as much of it as what I'd like to. I did watch Viewpoint, and as a person that is not very into politics, and business, it just sounds very complicated. I think you've summed it up very nicely. But I just think as a community, I think that the Gibraltarian people are quite resilient, and the general, even though there are feelings of uncertainty, it does feel like everyone is trying to find the best out of this situation on both sides, the government and people business owners. So all we can do is hope that everything works out for everyone and we can continue going to the shops we love.
Yeah.
And kind of like keep that very niche main street experience, no?
Yeah. I feel like there's not going to be one magic document that explains all to everyone. It's going to be so gradual over, forget months, years, probably, that we all finally understand our new normal, no?
That's it. Yo creo que it's going to be like one of the most pivotal moments in our history. And it's not going to come on whatever date it is. It's going to be something, as you say, Robin, something that's gradual, grows over time, but it's un antes y después. Yeah. And once it's done, it's like no coming back. And that's exciting, because it's happening, so we have to really accept it.
The great confusion of 2026.
Our parents or grandparents, probably in our case, experienced the closing of the frontier, and that was a very huge moment.
Yeah.
This feels like, for me, it feels like something like that, no? Even the opening of the frontier is different, no? Yeah. This is, people are going to make it, and others are not going to make it. Que lo que pasó at the time, no? There were businesses that went down. There are nobody that became business people, and I think that's going to happen again. But I mean, what I was watching the Viewpoint program, and it was like, bueno, espérate. I know this is about business and so on, but what about the consumer? Nobody's talking about the consumer.
A lot of businesses are two-way streets.
You know what I mean? I am a consumer. I want to know if everything is going to be more expensive. If me going for a meal, which is very expensive in Gibraltar today, how much more expensive is going to be after that treaty?
Well, David, is it?
Yes. It does seem to be. Like, I think, Gemma, the Minister for Business, was saying that the transaction tax, which goes up to 17, is going to be the lowest transaction tax in Europe, right? But it is still a levy that will go on things. So the reality is that some businesses will be not so affected, but there will be other businesses that are really, really, really affected, and they will then need to pass those extra costs on to consumers. So again, we have to be kind of pragmatic and accepting that there are people who are unfortunately going to suffer more than others. But from a consumer point of view, yo creo que sí, ultimately, some shops will be able to shield you from some of the costs, but others will need to pass it on. Yeah. We'll start to see things go up.
Good place to finish. To be continued. Okay, time for a quick break. When we return, we'll speak to Gibraltar's only known patient of multifocal motor neuropathy, an extremely rare autoimmune condition that affects less than 1 of every 100,000 people. Stay with us. Welcome back to City Pulse. John Navarro is a proud husband and father. He was always sporty and active growing up, but in February 2024, at the age of 37, he was diagnosed with MMN, an extremely rare autoimmune condition that causes progressive muscle weakness. John accepted it, but did not concede to it. He made it his mission to put it and other little-known illnesses on the map. John, hello.
Hello.
¿Cómo estamos?
Bien. Thank you for having me.
All good. First question, how are you today?
Very bien. Yeah, I'm good. A little bit tired. I had my medication last week. I think some of the inflammation has gone down. I've been cramping up a bit today, pero I'm good. Always in good spirits.
What is, as put as simply as possible, what is MMN? It has some similarities with ALS, for example, other perhaps more commonly known conditions.
For MMN, in basic terms, is an autoimmune condition that affects your nerves in your arms and legs, only in your arms and legs. And basically your immune system attacks the nerve swells up, and the signal won't go through. So basically you're paralyzed. Entonces, no puedo usar las manos, no puedo usar los pies, te cuesta trabajo de andar, tú sabes. So that's basically what MMN is.
So we met for a coffee earlier, and you were telling me about like the very earliest symptoms, which are so subtle. No, so tell us about kind of like, you know, the beginning of the road, if you like.
En verdad, the beginning was about, I don't know, creo que about 30 or 31 tendría. I've got 31 now, so a few years back, yeah. Just a tiny little or no feeling on my big toe, on one of my feet, on my left foot actually. I tried to move my toe porque parecía que maybe porque tenía, a lo mejor como tenía el problema que tenía y ese toe estaba weak, my socks would just bunch up entre medio de los dos toes, and I tried to move my toes to take it off and I couldn't. Tú sabes, una cosa tan simple, tan mínima, ¿no? Porque era una cosa muy mínima, así empezó. And from there, slowly it progressed. I think for about 6 years, my legs got worse until I started having more or less what at the moment I could describe as the same issues, pero on my hands, yeah. Entonces ya se puso la cosa un poquito más seria, tú sabes, ya las manos...
So typically you were saying it impacts the limbs, is that right?
Arms and legs.
Yeah.
Hands and feet, ¿no? Pero, yeah, no, nada más del cuerpo. ALS, for example, which MMN is very often misdiagnosed as, it wasn't the case with me, pero pasa more than you like to hear. Basically, ALS, it affects your swallowing, your speech, it affects your lungs and your breathing in the end. Tú sabes,
Stephen Hawking, perhaps
Stephen
the
Hawking,
most
for example,
high profile. No, that suffered ALS.
He was fortunate enough to live much longer than what he was supposed to have, than a usual person with ALS would. So, see, so it's very similar. It's very often misdiagnosed. And that's what I thought. It wasn't the case with me, but while I was undiagnosed and all my symptoms and all my research pointed to ALS, en verdad, that's the main thing que I saw, no? So it makes sense that it's misdiagnosed often.
And so then the next step, as in seeking professional medical advice, okay, los hombres a veces were a little bit stubborn when it comes to medical advice. No, I mean, how sort of stubborn, if at all, were you about taking that step?
Bastante pesado, la verdad, pero at the end of the day, cuando tú te ves así, ¿no? Que you're getting progressively worse and you know que you know your body better than anybody else, tú sabes, y tú sabes que tú bien no estás y a ti algo te está pasando. Y no matter what the doctors or what anybody else says, I mean, you know yourself better than anybody else. Y yo sabía que algo me estaba pasando, no es lo normal. But I did question if I was imagining it at some point.
Yeah?
I did. I was even told that by a doctor.
Really?
Yeah. Local doctor. Well, it might not be local per se, but working locally. Y I was questioning myself for a bit, en verdad, porque digo, en verdad, y si me lo estoy imaginando, but then I would get home, tú sabes, and put myself to a test. Y I would try and grab things y no podía coger las cosas.
So what sort of things? Everyday things?
Everyday things. Yo lo más importante para mí era el café. A mí me encanta una buena taza de café, man. Y más por la mañana. Y yo tengo una casa open plan, lo normal, ¿no? Beach view y open plan. My kitchen is here, my living room is ahí mismo. And I couldn't get from my kitchen to my living room without dropping a cup of coffee.
Really?
Porque as soon as I would grip something, my wrist would just fold in. Y no podía. And those were, en verdad, more or less the beginning symptoms, the first symptoms que I had con las manos. Pero después, I couldn't even hold a toothbrush, man. Ni un toothbrush, ni un tenedor, ni un cuchillo. My hands would just be like this all the time. Yeah, I was conscious when stirring a coffee in public. Porque, digo...
¿Qué te daba? ¿Dolor también?
Que
Or
va,
was
no
it just-
tenía dolor.
No pain.
No
It was
tenía
just
dolor.
that the-
Just
okay.
seize up.
It's- Yeah, it was just seize up así. Y la verdad que... And lots of cramps, tú sabes. Cramps is something which I have to deal with every day, and 20, 30 cramps every day.
Really?
I mean, tú mismo lo viste antes, me estaba tirando. I was just pulling on the mic, and I was pulling out the cable. My arm got cramped up. And
Right.
something similar to what I met you, también.
You described it as una batalla todos los días.
Yeah.
You're a father of 3. How have the kids adapted to sort of dad's new condition, new normal?
En verdad, not too bad, tío, te digo. I mean, my eldest is 20. I think que un hombre, ¿no? Es diferente. It was easy to explain to him, ¿no? More understanding, perhaps. La chica tiene 9. Y ahí está viéndome ahora. Hi, Eva.
Proud daughter.
Y, of course, for sure. Y lo que... She understands it, you know? She supports me, en verdad. She's very loving anyway, con que she supports it. Y el chico tiene 1. And I'm sure que he'll grow up with me in the spotlight con mi advocacy efforts y eso, tú sabes. So I'm just hopeful que le dé fuerza a ellos, ¿no? De verme a mí de tirar para adelante, ¿no? Que el día de mañana, que si they're faced with adversity in life, which I'm sure they will, everybody is at some point, de que mis batallas le ayuden a ellos.
Yeah, honestly, man, your resilience, your positivity is like really inspiring. So we could talk all night about the frustrations of this, but you're doing so much good as a result. So I feel like you might want to sort of focus more on that. Talk to us about the community that you're building locally and internationally. That's something special.
Well, yo, at first, when I got diagnosed with this, such a rare disease as MMN is, no, 0.6 in every 100,000, the prevalence, okay, to put it into easier to visualize, I mean, America tiene 300 million people and only 3,000 MMN patients, so that puts it into perspective, I guess. Basically, I wanted other patients to talk to, and I was the only one here, so I just needed to talk to other patients, to see how they progressed, no, with it, as the years went by. Porque the treatment that I take is not a cure, a treatment, so it's just maintaining me, and progressively I'm getting worse. Entonces, I reached out and trying to find other people to talk to. I came across the GBS CIDP Foundation International, which is an international foundation supporting patients with inflammatory neuropathies and raising funds for research and among many other things, too many to list. And through them, I met other MMN patients. I was, considering how rare it is, I was fortunate enough to be in video calls with over 50 patients at one time, tú sabes, being able to ask questions.
That's a game changer, man.
Game changer, man. Eso era lo que me hacía falta a mí, man. And it's...
You can get all the medical advice and all the professional
Forget
advice,
all of
but
that.
speaking
Patient
to
to
someone who's
patient.
going through it.
Yeah. Patient to patient, going through, even though it affects each of us differently, but going through the same thing, basically, tú sabes, somebody who can comprehend what you're going through. Understand it in a way that nobody else will, tú sabes, it's different. Pero bueno, through that, lo que pasa es que muchas de las veces éramos 50 people in the call, I was the only European, and from that hour, 30, 40 minutes was spent talking about medical insurance, que en verdad...
Which is something, thankfully, we don't have to worry about, but
Escúchame, tú no
chuck
sabes...
that into the equation,
that's
no?
their life.
Stresses, man, tú no sabes los stresses que tiene la gente con eso, extra added unnecessary stress, and muchas veces es pagando un medical insurance toda tu vida, and when you do get sick with an inflammatory neuropathy or something which needs such an expensive medication so continuously as patients with MMN need it, después you realize que no, espérate, read the fine print.
You're not covered.
Eso es que you're not covered for this. Y tú ni te lo imaginabas eso, pero bueno. Having said that, lo que hice fue que digo, what we need is a platform for UK patients. We don't have to worry about this, and time is money, tú sabes, you need to maximize that hour. Entonces, I started a UK group for MMN patients on Facebook. And from there, I think we have over 100 between patients and caregivers, mostly patients. Tenemos over 140, I just checked today. Con que I host calls, group calls y todo eso. Y that's been very rewarding, tú sabes, seeing the platform that I created, no, and seeing other patients posting their problems or their issues or any questions they may have, and have other patients in that same group replying to those questions, tú sabes,
Really?
and seeing people finding peace of mind from talking to other patients, tú sabes, so... and I continue to work with the GPS CIDP Foundation. I continue to attend their workshops every year, and thanks to them, tú sabes, that's how I bring all of these advocacy efforts to Gibraltar, and all of these improvements that I'm trying to establish.
And chapeau to you. We're going to talk about a charity that you're hoping
The pipeline.
to have but a little later this year. But right now, we're going to steer away for just a moment because every now and then we come across a certain someone who's done a certain something which we think deserves some credit. And why not over a cup of coffee? Les, hello.
Hello, Capelito.
How are you? Un cafelito with Mr. Leslie Brusson. Happy New Year.
Thank you very much. Same to you.
How are you?
Very well. Busy, but you know, the usual. Keeps me out of trouble.
We all know ministers are busy. What I wanted to discuss mainly was the voluntary work behind the scenes that you do that makes you an even busier man. So just tell us, around politics, what else you do?
I mean, I've always been involved in charities. I'm one of the trustees of Women in Need, the halfway house for women and so on. So I've always been raising money for different causes and so on. One of my passions, obviously, is working for the ambulance service, which gives me the opportunity to work within my community and help people. And yeah, I love it.
It sounds like a busy week. Is politics just not enough for you?
Well, I try and find the gap. So normally I do night shifts on a weekend or whatever. The last night shift I did was on Boxing Day. So I had Boxing Day, we had the polar bear swim, and after the polar bear swim I got changed and I went into the night shift. So I try and work around work, obviously, and around the family as well.
It's one of those, no? They say it's not a job, it's a vocation. You really need to love it, and I get the feeling you really do.
It's a kind of job working in front line, especially something like the ambulance, which is not always pleasant. It's the kind of thing that you either love or you don't. There's no in between.
So you're sort of over halfway through your first term in politics.
Yeah.
A very popular individual, but new to politics. So how have you sort of like found it all? I mean,
it's at times overwhelming, to be honest, especially at the beginning. You need really thick skin because people can be ruthless, especially
for the sake of your family. You know, you need to be tough
especially
for
remember
well.
all these fake profiles, people hiding behind anonymity and posting things which can be very nasty. When you have kids, when you have teenagers, I mean, how do you protect them against them? You know, how do you prepare them for the comments? How do you prepare them for? All you can say is...
That's what I'm trying to anticipate.
All you can say is,
you have to kind of let them go.
No. And you have to say to them, don't engage. You know, you're in the bus or you're anywhere in town, whatever, and anyone, don't engage, don't say anything, just carry on. Let me know, but don't, just ignore them. So, siempre, it can be tough on the family. I'm generally a quiet individual, easygoing.
I bet it takes you a lot longer to walk down Main Street, no?
Well, no, Morrison's or whatever. My kids despair sometimes, the pobre. But you get that element isn't that bad. But yeah, the being thrown into the limelight, as I said, I'm normally a quiet individual. I'm always thinking. Very easygoing, and suddenly you're in a world of turmoil of non-stop. Wake up at 6:20 in the morning and I'm already checking emails and WhatsApps and whatever else, and it's a 7-day-a-week thing. I mean,
politics never sleeps.
This Saturday there's a family dinner, but I'm already committed to another dinner for a local association presentation, which I'm already committed to. So that takes up, but it's part of the job.
Well, you mentioned the word limelight. Never was the limelight brighter for you, I'd say, than and take me back, because that was kind of like one of the biggest features of the election run-in from a few years ago. Parliamentary reform.
Yeah, my favourite subject.
Remind us what happened.
Well, the irony is that now I have ideas for parliamentary reform. Cut a long story short, and without wanting to go into too much details, I was supposed to be in a different debate. Because of circumstances, I was thrown in the very last minute. I was meant to be in the GHA debate with Gemma, and at the last minute I was told that I wasn't going to that debate. I was going to a different debate on parliamentary reform. I knew absolutely nothing.
I'm glad you've seen the funny side too, because we all did.
There's another.
Like me and my French oral for GCSEs, it's okay.
Big shout out to Samantha Sacramento, because she actually sat down with me for a couple of hours before, trying to give me information Joseph Garcia also gave me a lot of information. But obviously, once Joseph and Damon kicked off, then there was nothing, no había nada que aportar, basically.
That was box office.
That was brilliant.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, it's a great learning experience. It's like everything.
What would you say to anyone sort of on the fence thinking about maybe starting a career in emergency services? And
Go for it. I mean, yeah, try it out. Normally, the vacancies, you start off as an ACA, which is the white ambulances, driving patients around. You pick them up from home first thing in the morning. Normally, for example, take them to dialysis. There's a lot of work that goes on. When I started taking patients to Spain for treatment, it's a great opportunity, and it gives you a great.
Does it take a certain character?
Definitely. Again, you're dealing with things which are not very pleasant. So it either makes you or breaks you. I've had people who started off with me and are no longer in the service. Some lasted longer than others, pero sí, it can be very, very tough.
Mr. Leslie Brusson, cheers.
2026.
To 2026. Nice one. Thank you to Leslie Brusson, and you can catch the full version, if interested, on gbc.gi by about tomorrow morning-ish. MMN Awareness Month. This month, Maurice Castle.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. It hasn't been as easy este año, la verdad. Pero bueno, no pasa nada.
Last year we saw it lit up in...
Yeah, también en February. No me acuerdo exactamente qué fecha era, pero era February. También. I just don't remember exactamente qué día era. It was for one evening, pero we managed to do it. Everybody around the world lit up certain landmarks. Niagara Falls was lit up in orange, and some other notable landmarks in Canada and America. Yeah, just to try and talk about it a little bit more, tú sabes, bring a little bit more awareness and try and put MMN.
And you're certainly doing that, man. To talk to us about this charity that you've got in the pipeline, as you say, you're hoping by about summer it might actually be...
Sí, ahora mismo en verdad estamos casi in the final stages, en verdad. Nada más que ahora, what we're trying to do is try and get other patients with rare conditions to get in contact with me so that we can get it off the ground and we can start establishing this network that I envision. Que, gente con rare conditions, local patients with rare conditions, sometimes, como me pasó a mí, que lo que estaba contando antes, being able to speak to other patients, ¿no? Eso era un lifesaver para mí, eso fue lo mejor que yo pude hacer. The best treatment other than the treatment, ¿no? Let's say. Y yo, what I want to do is for other patients in GIP to be able to have that also, to have a readily established network, to have a rare disease network, like I like to call it, and each together advocate each for our own, as a charity for each individual rare condition that we may have in the charity, among many other things, obviously también. Pero right now, people can contact me through email, to show an interest. You asked me before también what constitutes a rare condition, no? In Europe, it's a prevalence of about 5 in every 100,000, but when you're talking about a community like Gibraltar, yo qué sé, puede ser a condition that's not as rare. Could be a condition that's not as rare, and there's only 1 or 2 or 3 patients in GIB, and it's not constituted as a rare condition. ¿Entiendes?
But like you say, you're not turning anyone away. You're
Eso, charity is there to help for the community, so you could never turn anybody away, ¿no? Si traemos adaptive devices y un pensionista le hace falta algo que le ayude a subirse el zip, que le va a decir, no te lo voy a dar, you're not rare enough, exactly like you mentioned before. Eso no existe, entonces you wouldn't be a charity, no, for working for the community.
You mentioned treatment. Tell us about your treatment. What's the process? Is it monthly?
Monthly, yeah, every 3 weeks or every 4 weeks, usually every 4 weeks, over 2 days, okay? It's a large quantity of medication, 1 litro. Basically, it's a medication that is derived from plasma donations, and then it's sent off to a manufacturing company where they do this process called fractionation, and it turns it into my medication after. When I came out on Life Stories, I think we mentioned that I needed 1,000 donations, which is shocking. Not 1,000, we mentioned that we needed 1,000 donors, and a correction on that, it's not 1,000 donors, but 1,000 donations. One donor could donate 4 times in a month, so we need 1,000 contributions. So it's very, como te digo, que I have to depend on that, on people's
Your life literally
selflessness.
depends on it.
Selflessness on over 1,000 contributions every month for the rest of my life, so that I can live a relatively normal life, tú sabes, and be able to enjoy it while at it.
And so here in Gibraltar, what is the landscape for blood donation? I mean, is it a simple process for anybody interested in doing so?
Bueno, you can go to your GP, you can contact blood departments. I mean, there's many avenues you can access to be able to become a blood donor in Gibraltar. Plasma donation, which is what I need, I think is coming to Gibraltar, not to be able to send over for fractionation to make my medication.
Tell us about this. This, if we could just go back to the last image, that's a pretty powerful one.
That moment, I think, has been the...
It was one of you shaking someone's house.
But that person is actually actively donating his blood plasma there, and I went to visit a plasma donation center in Berlin. I mean, they do over 150 contributions a day, con que it's a pretty big center. Pero estaba este muchacho allí haciendo donating plasma ahí en el momento, tú sabes, we went there to thank them, and so that not only we could be there and appreciate that moment con ellos, but for them to also meet patients who benefit from their contribution.
It's a powerful image, man.
It's a powerful image and it's a very powerful moment.
Was it quite emotional for you?
It's still emotional for me. La verdad es que me tengo que aguantar un poquito, tío, porque da igual cuántas veces lo veo y cuántas veces hablo de eso, it's still emotional for me.
I bet, man.
Yo creo que the most powerful and poignant moment in my journey so far, en verdad, la verdad, eso.
Yeah?
Yeah, that moment, I just can't get, it's overwhelming. Yo creo que va a ser overwhelming para mí siempre, da igual cuántas veces vaya a un donation center de eso. It's a very powerful thing. I don't think those people that are there selflessly donating the plasma realize how much of a difference it makes in my life. A mí me hace making a difference, pero a otra gente que le salva la vida.
Can I ask that you say you need a liter every
4 weeks, yeah.
every 4 weeks, no? But is that dosage average for everybody, or I'm more
No.
less? Because entonces others might need more contributions.
Sí, of course, others might need more. Yo me hace falta, and there's other people that take it, that have it every 2 weeks. Entonces esa persona le hace falta más. And we say 1,000. 1,000 is not set in stone. It might take 800 people to make this month's batch, and it might take 900 to make next month's batch. So it's not set in stone, that number, but roundabouts, you can get an idea. Ahora, I have 1 liter, but a person that weighs maybe a little bit more might need 1.3 liters. Entonces, obviously, he's going to need more contributions.
Y te lo ponen aquí, ¿no? They happen.
Yeah, but I met a lady who has CIDP, a local lady. CIDP stands for chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy.
You have the best memory, man.
And
what a vocabulary.
You know how many
I can
times
just about remember my own initials, man.
You know how many times I've read about these things, and I work with a lot of people that CIDP and GBS is more common than MMN. So when I work with the foundation, these conditions are the ones that we deal with most. So it's only normal que it will stick with me, no? Pero sí, it took some time. It wasn't a first or one day thing. Yes. Pero sí, I met this lady, Farida, you mentioned that, and she's had CIDP for I think 20 years, and I think she must have been one of the first, if not the first patient in GIB. And I think there may be 3 or 4 patients with CIDP in Libertad, but she had to go to Spain every 4 weeks to have her medication. Now she has it every 2 or 3 months. I think I'm the patient at the moment that has it more often than anybody else in Libertad, because I mean my medication is used for many other things, not just for MMN.
I love how passionate you are about being a father. You said everything you do is for your kids, and you have a peaceful mind, and that knowing that this is not a genetic thing. So absolutely everything you do is for the 3 of them.
En verdad, everything. Okay? I don't think they know that everything they do helps me. ¿Entiendes? It works both ways. Y en verdad, I don't know, mira, like we were talking before, no? You were mentioning the positivity and the resilience y todo eso, pero that comes de mis hijos, de lo que tengo detrás, tú sabes, mis hijos, mi mujer, mis padres, tú sabes, mi familia, tengo una familia que está ahí, ¿entiendes? And they've always been there, very supportive, pero al final del día, los niños is what makes you strive for more todo el tiempo, tío, and always push for more, and you want them to see you better and to see a strong version of yourself. Para que a ellos les ayude el día de mañana, ¿no? Pueden decir, mira, mi padre, lo que hacía, míralo ahí en el television hablando de la enfermedad esta. Y yo qué sé.
Past the bedtime, eh? It's past the bedtime.
Not tonight. Tonight, está bien. Special occasion.
Nice one, man. Eres un máquina. Really appreciate having you on.
Thank you for having me, man.
Just before we do go, we've had a few more messages in. A shout out to Shaku, actually, who's he's watching from London. Hello, Shaku. And this from Heidi. Chapeau to Minister Leslie Brusson. Seeing him on Saturday evening in uniform and about to begin a night shift with the ambulance service was genuinely inspiring. Leadership by example truly matters. Thanks for getting in touch. Heidi, any final comments, guys? Hey, well done.
I survived.
Well done.
It's been really lovely being here and listening to his story.
La verdad que sí.
And the way he speaks about it, no? Like, it's incredible.
Muchas gracias.
It's been good.
Ole!
Thank you, man. Thank you. It has now gone 10 o'clock. Hope you enjoyed the show. A big thanks to my guests, to you at home for watching. A real eye-opener tonight. Next week, it's a bank holiday, so City Pulse flatlines until the following Monday. By then, El Petardo de Mesa Cardona will be revved and ready to go. Good night.